Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Nur Najibah binti Muhammad. Today I will present my topic entitled Relations in Computer Science, Functions and Graphs as Special Forms of Relations. We interact with technology every day. We watch Netflix, scroll through Instagram, use Google Maps, and log into online accounts. Although these systems seem different, they all share one important mathematical concept, which is relations. In this presentation, I will first explain what a relation is, why it is important in computer science, and then show how functions and graphs are actually special forms or representations of relations. Finally, I will demonstrate a simple process to identify a function before concluding the presentation. So let's begin. First, let us understand what a relation is. A relation is simply a connection between elements from two different sets. For example, a customer can be connected to products, a student can be connected to courses, or a user can be connected to movies. In computer science, relations are one of the fundamental concepts because they allow computers to organize, connect, and process data efficiently. As shown on this slide, relations are used in many important areas such as databases, artificial intelligence, social media, and recommendation systems. Therefore, understanding relations is the first step before learning functions and graphs. Now, let's see why relations are so important. This diagram shows how one mathematical concept can support many modern technologies. Everything starts with relations because they describe how different objects are connected. These relationships are stored in databases where information is organized and managed. Artificial intelligence then uses these relationships to organize patterns and make predictions. Recommendation systems such as Netflix analyze user relationships to suggest movies that users may enjoy. Google Maps uses relationships between locations to calculate routes, while social media platforms use relationships to connect users with friends and communities. So, relations are not just mathematical theories, they are practical concepts used in many technologies we use every day. Now, I will explain a real example of a relation using the Netflix recommendation system. In this example, we have two sets. The first set contains users, while the second set contains movies. As shown on the slide, user 1 is connected to movie A and movie B. User 2 is connected to movie A. User 3 is connected to movie C. Notice that one user can be connected to multiple movies. This is completely acceptable because a relation allows one input to have more than one output. Netflix stores millions of these relationships. By analyzing what users have watched, Netflix can recommend similar movies that users are likely to enjoy. Therefore, recommendation systems are excellent real-world examples of relations in computer science. Next, I will explain functions. A function is actually a special type of relation. Every function is a relation, but not every relation is a function. The reason is that a function follows one additional rule. Every input must have exactly one output. In this example, a user ID is connected to one email address. Since every user ID has only one registered email, this satisfies the definition of a function. This concept is very important in authentication systems. When we log into a website, online banking system, or university portal, the system identifies us using one unique user ID connected to one account. If one user ID pointed to multiple accounts, the system would become unreliable and insecure. Therefore, functions help maintain consistency, accuracy, and security in computer science. Besides functions, another important way to represent relations is through graphs. A graph provides a visual representation of relationships. Instead of writing many ordered pairs, graphs use vertices, also called nodes, and edges, which connect those nodes. In this example, we can see different platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and GPS connected within one large network. This shows how graphs help visualize relationships between different systems and users. Graphs are widely used in social media, computer networking, Google Maps, cybersecurity, and communication systems. They help computers analyze large networks much more efficiently than reading long lists of relationships. Therefore, graph makes complex relations easier to understand and analyze. The question is this relation a function? To answer this question, we only need to check one rule. Does every input have exactly one output? Let's begin with example 1. Here, every input is connected to only one output. Since no input has multiple outputs, this satisfies the definition of a function. Therefore, example 1 is a function. Now let's look at example 2. In this example, one input is connected to two different outputs. This violates the rule of a function. Therefore, example 2 is not a function. This example clearly demonstrates the relationship between relations and functions. Every function is a relation, but not every relation can be considered a function. Before concluding, let's compare these three concepts. A relation simply connects objects or elements from different sets. A function is a special relation because every input must have exactly one output. A graph is another way to represent relations visually by using vertices and edges. Although they look different, these three concepts are closely related. Functions and graphs are both derived from the fundamental concept of relations. Finally, let's look at some real-world applications. Netflix uses relations to recommend movies. Instagram and other social media platforms use graphs to suggest friends and analyze user connections. Google Maps uses graph algorithms to calculate the shortest route between locations. Banks use functions to authenticate customers securely. Hospitals use database relations to organize patient information accurately. These examples show that relations, functions, and graphs are not only mathematical concepts, but also essential tools used in modern computer systems. In conclusion, relations are one of the most important concepts in discrete mathematics and computer science. They allow computers to describe and organize relationships between different objects and pieces of information. Functions are special relations that ensure every input has exactly one output, while graphs provide a visual representation of those relationships. Together, these concepts support many technologies that we use every day, including recommendation systems, authentication systems, databases, social media, artificial intelligence, and navigation systems. By understanding relations and how functions and graphs are derived from them, we build a strong foundation for solving real-world computing problems. Thank you very much for your attention. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum and have a nice day.